Hey, good evening, good people. I'm back. I'm trying this again to upload the second part of Daddy Issues. I really want to upload it, so let's get into it. I hope everyone has had a wonderful, blessed day today. Before I get started, I do want to say this. There was something that I thought about that I forgot to add in part one of Daddy Issues. And that was, I found out from my mother that she told me that my father didn't see me when I was born. He wasn't there when I was born. He didn't see me until I was like 3, maybe 4 months old. So, yeah. I don't know why, what happened. And my mother, it was like when I would ask her questions about him, she really didn't like talking about him. So I let it go. But let's get into the story. I want to continue where I left off at, and that was me meeting my grandfather, which is my father's father, for the very first time. And I had to be about 13, 14 years old when I first met him. So, and this was in Chicago, Illinois. It was me, my mother, my father. We were in Chicago, I think, visiting my father's side of the family, relatives, sisters, and cousins, whatever. So my father takes me to go meet his father. So when we walk in, immediately off the bat, I'm like, yep, they could be identical twins. He looked just like him. So he introduces us, and his way of greeting me was to turn around in the chair and say, "Hey, gal." Yeah. And that was it. I can tell from his demeanor, he didn't seem to be a nice man. Seemed like he had a hard life too. And then even at that young age, I could tell that's where my father got it from, or didn't get it from. But we stayed for a minute. I didn't really say nothing to him, and I think he asked me, if I can remember correctly, what was my name, what grade I'm in school, just general questions. And then we leave and we go to my aunt's house, which would have been my father's oldest sister. Her name's Jackie. But my father had about 5 sisters and 2 brothers, and none of them was really close to him because all of them had the same mother and father, except for my father. He had a different mother. And my father lost his mother when he's like 1, 2 years old. I think she passed from a blood disorder. And then he was raised by his grandparents till he was like 18, 19 years old, and got in trouble, started getting into trouble, going to jail. I'll get to that in a minute. But his sisters, it was only 2 of them that really stuck out in my mind, which was Jackie, the oldest one, and Dyrese. Dyrese was one of the sisters that I remember when I was younger that would take up time with me, take me with her wherever and buy me stuff, take me to the store, things like that. I did find out some information from the older sister, Jackie, that my father had did some things to their parents because they owned a store in Chicago, and they were business owners, and my father did something that really made Jackie more so turn her back on my father, and it really didn't want to have nothing to do with him at all, ever. So I don't know exactly what it was, but it did pertain to her parents' business. So, yeah. She told me some things that how he um, would get into trouble, jail, um, or just get into trouble with, the police, period. He had an extensive criminal background record, whatever. And it wasn't good. My relationship with him it wasn't one. I always wanted that, but it just didn't happen. My father's, I want to say the way he came up is one of the reasons why he probably was the way he was, and going through life the way he did. I guess he just didn't know how to be a father. So he didn't know how to reach out to me. It wasn't like he was the kind of man that would sit down with his daughter and, reassure her, me, that he was going to always be there and I could come to him and talk to him about anything. That never happened. So over the years, time goes on. He meets my mother at a community swimming pool when they first met. I don't know what year that was. I want to say I was born in 58, so I want to say maybe 56, 57, somewhere around there they met. He was a lifeguard. And my mother told me that I don't know how much longer, but during their courting, because that's what they did back in them days, she found out that he was married. Yeah, Papa was a Rolling Stone. Lord, he was married to I'll get to that too, my older half-brother's mother. And she lived in Chicago. So yeah, he was cheating. And he was in Ohio, and I want to say he really wasn't supposed to be in Ohio. I want to say I kind of remember conversations that he had with my mother. He was on probation, and he snuck up here to Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah. But speaking of cheating, I lost my train of thought just that quick. But yeah, he was married. So why my mother continued to be with him, I don't know. Yeah, it's deep. It's deep. I always wanted a relationship with my father. There were times when he was incarcerated, I would write him. And he would write me back, saying how when he come home or get out, we're going to have this father-daughter relationship. Never happened. But time goes on. When I had my first child, she had to be about, I would say 4 or 5 months old, and he wanted to see her. I was kind of hesitant about taking her to a jail, but I did because he asked me would I bring her, and I did. Big mistake. I get there, and it was in Cleveland, Ohio. I get there so he could see his granddaughter. They went through my baby's diaper bag, taking out Pampers, opening up her bottles of milk, just going through the whole diaper bag. I had to unwrap her in the blanket. They searching through that. Then I had to get undressed down to my underwear, and they searching me. Right, big mistake. So, go in to visit. 30 minutes. I went through all that for a 30-minute visit. And if I remember, I think I had to take the hairpins out of my hair. Yeah. So I made a promise to myself that I would never ever visit nobody. When you got to go through something like that just to have a 30-minute, I don't care if it's an hour long. I just think it's so degrading when people go visit loved ones or friends or whoever it is and that's incarcerated. They go take it to, now that was then that they took it to that extent. I don't know how they do it now. But yeah, never. But there were times when he wasn't locked up. He'd pop up at my mother's house and just be there. Didn't serve no purpose. That's why I said popcorn daddy. Popped in when it was convenient for him and popped out when he knew he was in trouble and wasn't supposed to be at a certain place. There are so many things that I remember that he didn't think I knew, but I knew, and I just never said anything about it. So maybe in another video I'll share that as well. Everyone isn't blessed to have the kind of parent or parents that they wish they could have had, and I'm one of those. I've made peace with it. I've forgiven him, and I hope he made peace with it before he left here, because he passed in 2010. He had cancer. So let me tell you a little bit about before he left this earth. He kind of knew that. First, let me back up. I have a football team of brothers and sisters. Yeah. Like I said, Papa was a Rolling Stone. The two that I did communicate with, which was James Jr., Jimmy, we called him that for short. I really didn't know him all like that, and Reginald is under me. James is named after our dad. But him and I, we kind of started talking a little bit. And me and Reggie, we would talk a lot. That's another story, but I had to shut him down too, because what he asked me, it wasn't flying. I'll share that story too. But I found out I had 3 siblings in Chicago, a set of twin brothers and sister in Chicago too, I think. Yeah, Chicago, with a Caucasian woman, and another sister that my younger brother Reggie told me about that I wasn't supposed to know about, and I think that's in Memphis, Tennessee. She's in Memphis, Tennessee. I know about them. I don't know if they know about me. It's been a while since I've tried to track them down, get information. It's like, if it's meant for me to know or for them to know me, gotta make a way. So I let it go. But when my dad got sick, he wanted me to clean, me and my mother, he wanted us to clean his apartment. And after he had been so dirty and doggish to my mother and to me, I didn't want to do it. I'll keep it real. I really didn't want to do it. But something just said, going to do it. So when we go to the apartment, because he had gave me the keys, dishes in the sink, I did the kitchen. But I had told my mother I was not touching the bathroom because, wow. He had used the restroom, and I guess he had an accident on himself and he couldn't get there in time. where he just left a pair of pants and underwear with number 2 on the toilet seat, the floor, and in the clothes that he had left on the floor. How long it had been sitting there, only God knows. And I said, I'm not touching that. My mother put on gloves and she did it. Right. I cleaned the kitchen and straightened up in his living room a little bit. Locked the door, went back to, because at this time he was in a nursing facility, a rehab. But he went from rehab to a nursing facility to hospice. His cancer spread that fast. And I remember the doctors saying, if his heart stops, did I want to have him resuscitated? And I said no. My mother had visited him because she also was in a nursing home at that time, and he wanted me to go get her. So I did. The saying is, when you know you're getting ready to leave here, you start confessing stuff. And that's what he did. Except to me. There was a conversation that he had with Jimmy, his son, my older brother, on my cell phone, apologizing to him for everything he's ever did to him and his mother. Somebody could have stuck a knife in my heart, because to hear him say that to him and never apologize to me or my mother, and my mother was sitting right there on the other side of the bed, his hospital bed, never said nothing to neither one of us. Never thanked us for cleaning his apartment either. So I get the phone back and I tell Jimmy I will call him later. And I think he could tell in my voice that I was hurt and angry. He said, okay, sis. I don't think we talked. It was a minute before I talked to him again. But to save face, all I could do was just go out in the hallway and just, and I told my mother, I'll be out here. But when I did take her back to the nursing facility where she's at currently now, I think I wasn't home a good 15, 20 minutes, and the doctor called me and told me that his heart had stopped. And I can hear them in the background attempting to work on him. And he wanted to know if I wanted him to proceed. I said no. So he passed. I don't remember the date, but I know it was in 2010. I want to say the month of September or October, he passed. They say when you lose a parent, mother, father, or both, I want to say if my relationship had have been that type of relationship that I wanted with him, it would have been painful losing him. There was a part of me that, I don't want to say felt bad. That was kind of sad because I didn't have that type of relationship I wanted with my father. But all I could say was, I just hope he made peace, because I've made peace with it, And for those of you who grew up women and you didn't have your father, the only thing that we could do is just say, I hope he made peace with God before leaving this world. So that's my daddy issues that I wanted to complete. And thank you guys for listening. Put your comments down below and let me know what you think. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.